Okay, so ready to like dive deep into this whole 2024 US presidential election thing.
Deep.
You guys sent in like a massive Wikipedia excerpt.
Yeah.
And this is not our average election Wikipedia spiral. No, no, no. This is like historical context,
Right.
hidden tensions, the kind of stuff they don't talk about on cable news.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I, we always think about elections as like this horse race, you know? Like who's ahead, who's behind.
Yeah.
But this deep dive is crazy. It shows like how much is actually at stake this time around.
Yeah.
And it's so much bigger than just red versus blue.
It feels like democracy itself is kind of on the line here. And I know that sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
But that's not just us, getting like hyped up. That's coming directly from these sources. This election is happening after like attempted election overturning the January 6th attack. It's all connected.
Yeah, you know what? It's like the fabric of how we even transfer power in this country is being questioned.
Wow.
And that's what's reflected in this Wikipedia entry.
Yeah.
It's not about policies anymore. It's literally about whether we even trust the system itself.
And the thing is, this isn't just some kind of like abstract thing,
Right.
This is like real. The sources even highlight a really disturbing trend. A sharp increase in threats against like elected officials.
Oh, absolutely.
Even the people who run our elections.
Which is terrifying.
Yeah.
And those threats are directly linked to like the rise in extremism we're seeing everywhere.
It's true.
It creates this vicious cycle. Uncertainty breeds extremism,
Yeah.
which then fuels more instability.
So how did we even get here? Like, what's striking is how different this election cycle feels, even compared to just 4 years ago.
It's totally different. The political landscape has shifted dramatically.
Yeah.
Just look at the Electoral College map. It's been totally redrawn since 2020 because of the census.
Wow.
So even if you think you know how states might vote, the playing field itself has changed.
Right. It's totally up in the air.
Yeah.
It's anyone's game. And speaking of unprecedented, Biden withdrawing from the race. Can you believe that?
Crazy, right?
Yeah. Like, after he secured the Democratic nomination,
I know.
it's like he reshuffled the whole deck after the game had already started.
It's practically unheard of. I mean, the last time an incumbent president dropped out after getting enough delegates, was LBJ
Oh, wow.
back in '68.
It's always 68.
I know, right?
Like, what is it about this election?
It's like we're rhyming history or something.
Totally. 68 was like chaos, totally divided, full of surprises.
And here we are again, Biden's out, which basically makes Kamala Harris like the automatic Democratic nominee.
It's historic on so many levels.
Tell me about it.
First woman nominated by a major party, first Asian American nominee.
Huge.
Plus, she's literally the first person to like step into the role without going through those primaries since, you guessed it, 1968.
Wow. It makes you wonder, how are the Democrats going to react to this?
Right.
Will they get behind her, or are they going to be like, what just happened?
So unpredictable.
Totally.
And then on the other side, we've got, well, who else?
The comeback kid?
Godot.
Trump. Trying to do something else that's pretty rare.
Yeah.
A second non-consecutive term.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. Didn't Grover Cleveland do that?
Yeah, back in the 1800s.
Like, way back.
Not exactly a common strategy.
No kidding. And, I mean, he's not exactly strolling back in. Dude's facing like 1 million indictments.
Yeah.
Trying to overturn the 2020 election. Financial fraud. Are we sure this isn't like a reality TV show?
It's uncharted territory. Like, how do you even run a campaign when you're facing those kinds of charges?
Good point.
Does it fire up his base even more because they think it's all made up?
Mm-hmm.
Or does it turn off, like, moderate voters who just want things to be, normal?
Toss up.
Totally.
So we've got like the players, we've got the historical stuff, but the issues themselves are what really make this election feel, I don't know, different.
It's not even just, like, the issues themselves, It's the whole vibe.
Yeah.
The tactics, it's like someone changed the rules of the game or something.
Totally. Like, take Trump's big campaign thing this time around. Retribution.
Yeah, retribution. Not like, let's come together, not progress. Retribution.
It's kind of scary when you think about it.
It is.
Like, what happens to this whole peaceful transition of power thing if the goal is to just, like, punish the other side?
It makes you wonder what the presidency is even for anymore.
Right.
Is it about the whole country, or is it just about getting back at the people you don't like?
It's a big question, for sure.
This isn't just politics as usual,
Yeah.
This is like the core of our democracy kind of stuff.
It reminds me of that Project 2025 thing we talked about earlier, that Heritage Foundation plan.
Oh, yeah.
The one that's all about giving, like, a ton of power to the president.
Right, and some Republicans are really into that plan, which, when you think about it, kind of fits with this whole retribution idea.
Yeah.
Because it's got all these ways to basically ignore Congress, even local governments,
Wow.
so they can push through whatever they want.
It's like, I don't know, some dystopian sci-fi plot, this like shadow government just waiting to take over.
Right.
And we don't even know how much Trump is in on it, but like the fact that it exists is kind of freaky.
Oh, totally. And it's not just like a theory. It plays into real stuff happening right now, like with immigration.
Oh, yeah.
Trump's going even harder on that this time.
For real.
Way harsher.
Than before.
Way harsher. Talking about mass deportations, military on the border.
Intense.
He even called immigrants animals in a speech.
Come on, man.
It's dehumanizing. Creates a climate of fear.
Totally.
And it totally ignores, like, the nuances of immigration.
Right.
And the economic side, the family's just trying to have a better life.
Of course, every election comes down to the economy, right?
Always. It's the one thing everyone cares about.
Sure.
And this is where you see a huge difference between the candidates.
Yeah.
Harris is laser focused on the stuff that hits your wallet every day. Groceries, housing, healthcare.
The real stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Trump. He's still all about tax cuts, mainly for the wealthy.
Same playbook, huh?
Same playbook. And the experts are saying that could actually make inflation worse.
Oh, wow.
So, it might actually hurt the same people he's claiming to help. Two totally different approaches.
Right.
One's about helping families right now. And the other is, well, we've seen how that story goes.
And then there's that whole thing with the uncommitted voters, right? Those Democrats who were protesting Biden's policies in the primary.
Oh, yeah, those guys. Total wild card.
Especially on the Israel-Palestine issue. Who knows what they'll do?
They could vote for Harris. Even though they weren't happy with Biden, they could switch sides. They could just stay home.
So unpredictable.
Right. And they could totally swing the election in those tight races, which is crazy on top of everything else that's going on. And we can't forget about,
the assassination attempt.
Yeah. First time a major candidate has been targeted since Reagan. It's just a reminder that all this political stuff has real-life consequences.
Just scary.
And violence is never okay. Never the answer.
No, it's not. So, wow. Okay, let's recap. Historical parallels, crazy events, and issues that really make you think about what it means to be an American right now.
This is why we do this deep dive thing. It's not just about who's up or down in the polls. It's about understanding what's really going on.
Exactly. So as we get closer to this election, ask yourself, what really matters to me?
Yeah, what do you value?
What kind of country do I want to live in?
Because your vote, it's not just about picking a candidate.
Right.
It's about what you want the future to look like.
So think about it, talk about it.
Be informed.
And make your voice heard.
This is a big one.
This election, high stakes, and it's all up to us.